too used to nicks. What is happening? What's wrong? Missing argument body? Sure, I know what you're saying. Could I just do this? This is a really, like, unsettling gray that I really like. We're doing spread noise. We're getting into it, boys. Have they fixed this issue yet? Or if you do... So irritating. They're calling it the worst thumbnail of all time. Cool, okay. I just thought it'd be fun if I did like a thing like that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, what's happening? Expected content found array. I mean, I know you found an array, but how do I, like, what do you do here? Like, what is map? Like, dot dot range 25. Is there something I had missed in the tutorial? Like, is it in, like, advanced styling? What is happening? There's something really weird that happens to the Typst docs where you go to advanced styling, you do back button, it just like brings you back to overview. What is happening? It's infuriating, honestly. Oh, I'm done making the thumbnail. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Bro. Is it in making a template? Okay. Like built-in functions, custom functions also take a variable number of arguments. You can specify an argument sync, which collects all excess arguments as ... sync. Sure, so you can have multiple arguments and it kind of just goes into authors. The resulting sync value is one of the argument's type. It exposes methods to access the positional and named arguments. It exposes methods. Is this like a method? It exposes methods to access positional and named arguments. Spreading inversely to an argument sync. You can spread arguments, arrays, and dictionaries into a function call with the ... spread operator. Sorry, with the ... operator. It's weird that it like does this. It's weird that they phrase it this way. It was way down. So if I just do like, okay, what is happening there? How do I? take type. If type x equals int. So I could do like type that. What's wrong with this? Unexpected argument. Should I just... Would I have to put this in parentheses? Is that crazy? There we go. Okay, type. That's an array. So why does this array work? Like why does it work even if it's an array? Because what was happening before? Like what's wrong with this? Expected content found array. So split expected content. But then if I do, so split is getting an array if I do this. But then if I do this, split is getting a string. Or what's going wrong here? Right, okay. Sure. So, if I do like more than 100, yeah. I'm gonna remove this. So, now for the record, I recognize switching in between these two is pretty inefficient. If I wasn't live streaming, I would have this on that monitor, but you guys can't see that, so. Okay, so one really horrifying. I think this might be an X11 thing as I switch back to Z sometimes. I don't know what makes this happen. Is it when I'm not focused? I don't know. Unfocused Z window. Shows old workspace state. What is the source of this information? It's not... There's no way these are the sources. I mean, this seems like true. I guess troubleshooting. Maybe this is a ChatGPT question. ChatGPT is such a nice service. Like, it's so fast. Okay, it kind of seems like this is in the works. Oh, am I signed in? No, I'm not. Okay. Okay. Kind of a shame though, because you can't really depend on that. I remember I was trying out JXL, like, hold on. It's closed. What am I thinking of? Rounding. What am I looking for? PNG? There's a specific GitHub issue I'm looking for. This was the one. It was AVIF, not JXL. I was looking to convert my screenshots from PNG to AVIF a while ago, and it was irritating because I would do the command that would do a lossless conversion. It's because I remembered this image in particular, and I would want to do a lossless conversion, and then I would zoom in and it wouldn't be lossless. Like, the PNG and the AVIF were just obviously different. And this is the example, right? You zoom in, these are obviously different images, obviously, even though the command you say for it to be lossless. And I remember the person is like, this is probably happening in the AVIF encoder, and there's only really a small difference between those two images, probably due to rounding errors. Dude. I mean, you know, this guy seems very, much love to open source maintainers, and I don't want to be like an evil guy who's like, oh, why isn't this fixed yet? Like, I don't want to seem like entitled for like open source maintainers, but it is a little irritating, of course, obviously, that like the lossless option is not lossless. This is probably a solved problem now. Oh yeah. The superior JPEG XL. I can use the restroom really fast. Sorry, my mic's off. Whoa, that's super weird. It's so, like, I've ran into this quite a bit for large language models, and it's just kind of the nature of how they work, but this is the first time I've seen Fable do it. Whoops. Dude. That's fine. Not great, though. That sucks. I've been consuming a lot of protein and creatine, and not drinking enough water. So that's the reason for that. You know, that's why that conversation title looks like that. Okay. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing. Why is this like this? Oh my god, it's right there. What am I doing, dude? It's over. Let's see to unpack the list of values into the arguments of a function. But what is this doing? So it's basically getting when the empty string matches a specified pattern, returns an array of the following parts, of the resulting parts. When the empty string is used as a separator, so it's basically doing right? So what's what? Okay. Okay, so grid is just a function. Okay, so okay, what is happening? Great. Fable's really nice, by the way. Hey, Rafi. Rafi, Fable's really sick. Look at this. Look, 6.5 compared to 60. Yeah, because like, please tell me yes or no based on if I'm correct. And so I wanted to explain, like, and then I explained, like, what I thought my understanding was, and then it would say if I had a correct understanding or not. And then if it says no, I could be like, I can think about what I may have gotten wrong, and then I can update what I said until this is yes, right? It's a really useful thing. Whoa, this is a bad example of what's a good... What is happening? This is actually really crazy. Yeah, they were exposed for faking benchmarks. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? Oh my god, it hallucinated a web search. What? This is a breaking change in Typst 0.14. I don't even know if this would be described as HTML, because it could be XML, right? Why did I go to images? Dude, what is it? How can I get XML? Yeah, right? Because XML looks like, I mean, it has the same sort of tagging system as HTML. Which is interesting, because I'm pretty sure, that's so crazy. I'm gonna regenerate this prompt. In the ChatGPT response? Oh yeah. I guess it does say thing. Okay, there we go. It's normal now. When doing stuff like this, vertical tabs are really, really, really nice. I don't know why anybody would want something like this in particular. I mean, this is only good if you have one page open, really. But also look at this. This is like an X11 issue. This is what I get for still being on X11. Your Z doesn't like render I always have vertical tabs. Really? On Helium, they actually have this very, they have this thing that's a lot like Safari. I usually have this, and it's really nice because if I just have a few tabs open, right, it's really nice because if I just have a few tabs open, it doesn't, do you see what I'm saying? It's really nice. I really like how this is. But it's cool because then if I only have one tab open, it doesn't even show the tab bar. Isn't that sick? I honestly don't really like vertical tabs because I really like the horizontal space I have. Borman? Oh, I see. This woman. I know her. It's not that I hate X11, it's just that most Linux users aren't using X11 anymore, and so you have like weird issues like this where if you switch workspaces, Z doesn't update its view until you hover over it. Like, the only reason I'm still on X11 is because I really like how things are set up on i3 and Polybar. Like, I mean, you know, one day, 3 years ago, I spent like 12 hours on my Polybar configuration, and it's just been exactly like this for the past few years. And so I know if I switch to, I think the OBS issue is kind of solved now, honestly, but the thing is that I know I'm going to have to change all of my configs if I switch over to Wayland. And so what I really want to do is I want to switch my main desktop operating system from Arch to NixOS. And once I do that, I'll do the Wayland switch. I'm probably going to use Neri or Hyperland, probably. One of those two. Probably Hyperland. Oh, she doesn't like OBS. I see. What screen recording does she use? Does she use... She's tied to... Really? Okay. I remember Luke Smith used to just do FFmpeg. Like, he just used to record his desktop with FFmpeg, I think. Like, he never did OBS. He only did his streams with OBS. And it's kind of funny that she would never understand Hyperland because, like, X11 is, like, the least understandable thing of all time. Like, do you know why they call it the X server? It's because back in the day, back in, like, the 80s, I mean, she's obvious, I mean, do you think that's, okay, anyway, because back in the 80s, right, and you wanted, say you were back in the 80s and you wanted a bunch of, like, computers, right, to have a graphical environment, but none of them were, like, powerful enough to render graphics, and so the thing you would do is on your local network, you would have an X server, right? And then that X server would do all the graphical rendering and it would stream it to all of these other computers. Nowadays, every single computer running X11 has an X server, and then your local computer is making local calls to the X server. So the X server is doing the rendering, and then your computer is running an X client that's communicating with an X server that's also running on your client. And it's the weirdest thing in the world. You know, I'm used to X11. It's fine, but it's, I mean, it's obviously very antiquated. You know, it sucks. Okay, so. Right, so the way you interact with Nix, or not with Nix, I'm so used to Nix. Is this okay? I'm gonna get a bigger canvas, like... Okay, man, I don't care. So back in the day, and again, I don't have a super comprehensive understanding of this, right? But say you have a bunch of computers, right? Say you have a bunch of computers and you're at a university or something, right? And these are all typically, you know, TTY emulators, right? They all just have text, right? But you want them to have graphical environments, right? But none of them are powerful enough to have a graphical environment. So the thing you do is you have a big server here, right? And it's an X server, right? I think that's the Twitter logo. Oh, what? Okay. And it's an X server, right? Okay. And so the thing that it does, right, is all of your little graphical environments are running X clients, right? It's running X clients, and then they all communicate with the X server, right? And then the X server streams back all of the graphical data, right? So it opens a port, it opens port 6000 and port 6001, right? And, you know, the X server is communicating with these X clients, right? And then it streams the graphical information, right? Because all of these computers weren't powerful enough to run a graphical environment. So now, fast forward to 2026, right? You have a computer, right? You have a computer, it's super powerful. It's so powerful that every single application can run an entire JavaScript engine individually, right? And everybody thinks that like 10 milliseconds is fast, right? Right, so you have a really strong computer, and it's crazy because it is now split into two halves, right? X server, right, and X client. And now, and X server is running locally, right? So now, say you're running i3, the thing it does is it communicates with this local X server, and then it streams back locally to your X client, and it's so crazy. It's the weirdest thing in the world, and honestly, I think screensavers is a solved issue. Okay, hold on. Say what you will, large language models kind of solved search, dude. Yeah, man, ChatGPT is great. It's sick. Like large language models are sick, dude. I see. Wasn't there a Brody Robertson video about this? Yeah, what is this about? We're really leaning on outsourced knowledge here. Outsourced intelligence, bro. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. I guess I wasn't correct when I said I know because it's called X Screensaver. Did you know that the creator of X Screensaver used to work with Mark Andreessen at Netscape? No, Mark Andreessen, like A16Z. The the private equity, not private equity, venture capital, Andreessen Horowitz. He used to work at Netscape, and so did. God, I'm gonna turn back on vertical tabs. It's terrible when it gets like this. I'm not that American, bro. That's fair. Yeah. Well, I only know about Andreessen Horowitz because they're kind of like Y Combinator. They're like Y Combinator kind. Like they not really, but like people. I mean, they're not like a startup accelerator, but they give people money, like how Y Combinator gives people money, you know. And I don't. This is interesting. But yeah. So Andreessen Horowitz is this like venture capital firm, and the namesake of the first guy. They're both bald. That's really funny. Maybe they have like bald powers. But anyway, so Mark Andreessen, uh, he's one of the guys who, who's the namesake of Andreessen Horowitz, right? The venture capital firm, and uh, the he's also like a Republican mega donor. He's a very like Peter Thiel-esque guy. He's a lot like Peter Thiel, but he's not. He's like if Peter Thiel was like straight and bald, you know. I know, right? He's a very funny looking guy. He's kind of like no, that's too mean. Anyway, so Mark Andreessen, he used to work at Netscape. The creator of X Screensaver used to work at Netscape, and he said, I didn't think that my extremely former friend and coworker could be more of an unmitigated, we hired this, yeah. Yeah, if you work with her, whoa. But yeah, so the creator of X Screensaver used to be friends with the CEO of Andreessen Horowitz. See the CEO? I mean, I know they're the founders, but I don't know what that blog post is writing about. But yeah, anyway, so this is why X is so weird. Like Hyperland is made in a world where, Wayland is made in a world where computers are powerful enough to like run their own graphical environment. but X was made like in the 80s, and so that was back when computers weren't powerful enough to run their own graphical environment. How do I know all this stuff? I don't know. I look into it. Well, I guess I was looking into who made X Screensaver, and then I looked at his blog, and I found out that he used to work at Netscape, and I was like, oh, I wonder if... I know Andreessen Horowitz used to work at I know Mark Andreessen used to work at Netscape. I wonder if they knew each other. And then I found out they did know each other when they worked at Netscape. But yeah, anyway, Fable 5 is really nice. Is there a way I can turn that off? I don't have access to Discord right now. My phone is bricked. I can't. I'll look when I'm done streaming. I can't. I have a thing. It's not literally bricked. It's this like it's this $60 NFC tag. It's this little plastic NFC tag with a magnet on it, and you open up the Brick app, and then you tap your phone on this little block, and it blocks the apps that you have chosen to not allow yourself access to when you tap the NFC tag. And so what's happening to my phone right now is I try to open up Discord, and it's like you can't until you unlock your phone by tapping your phone on this NFC tag. So that's what I mean by my phone's bricked. There is a product called Brick where you brick your phone and you don't have access to certain apps. So then I don't use Discord while I'm trying to focus. Okay, we're fine. It's really irritating that I'm not trolling, dude. Look at this. Look what happens if I try to open Discord. Look. It's connected to it's attached to my fridge. Our fridge is on the side of my fridge. Yeah, I do, yeah. No, but I'm not gonna unbrick my phone. I'll do it after I'm done focusing. Okay, so okay. I see. Well, I mean, of course I'm gonna reach out if you text in it, but I'm not gonna, like, sacrifice all of my time to speaking with you on, like, while I'm live streaming, because obviously that's against the nature of the live stream, right? And then gutter is gonna be... I see, okay. Is there a way I can do, like... The nature of the live stream is so that I'm a little more focused than I would be otherwise. Because what's happening, right, is if I wasn't live streaming, I'd probably be watching YouTube right now. And that sucks because I'm not even working on Typst. So I'd rather be live streaming and have you occasionally talk to me and also work on Typst sometimes, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's funny. Is there a way I can sanitize? Do I have to use, like, regex? I'm never interested in this. I don't... Never. If I want to use AI, I'll go to, like, a way better website. Off. Never. The worst part about learning Typst is having to... Should I pay for Kagi? I know you're joking. I know you're joking, Rafi. Rafi, should I pay for a search engine? I'm not gonna give you money. And I don't even know how that would work. Like, unless I'm sending you... Unless you're okay with me sending... I'm not gonna send you money, but if I were to, the best way to do that would be me to send you, like, Monero or, like, USDC or something. Because if I send you money via like Wise, look at this. If I send you money via Wise, there's going to be like a you have a PayPal. Sure, but PayPal's going to have such crazy money. Like, they're going to have crazy fees. Wise is going to have crazy fees. The only way to do a feeless international money transfer is via like a low gas cryptocurrency. This is the one reason why cryptocurrency is awesome, actually. This is the only thing. And it sucks because I'm talking to, like, I have a very good friend who's Scottish. I'm going to be seeing him in Scotland. Not to make you all jealous, Rafi, but he paid me to run a Minecraft server for a couple weeks. And, you know, he's like this artist guy. He's, broadly, he's a leftist, right? And so he's an inclination against you know, certain technology products, right, such as large language models, such as cryptocurrency, right? Because these things are, I think there's more valid dislike of large language models, right? But especially for like cryptocurrency and like blockchain technology, people are against. People are like socially against cryptocurrency, right? People have no real reason to be against like blockchain conceptually, right? Because it's just a technology, it's pretty useful sometimes. And it's irritating because, you know, when he wanted to pay me for this Minecraft server I was hosting for him, I wish I could have been like, just make a Monero wallet, bro. Just send me Monero, right? But I knew I couldn't do that because he's, yeah, I'm aware of the $20 joke. And so I can't be like, hey, Marxist, can you make a Monero account? Like, can you make a Monero wallet and send me Monero? Because that's the best way to send money internationally. Like, like, why would he ever do that, right? And so I have to be like, oh, can you make a Wise account and like send me this money with this crazy fee, bro? And it's just irritating because, like, cryptocurrency is awesome. It's awesome. Should I pay for a search engine? Should I pay $120 a year for a search engine? So then you have a safe place to put your money. Because the bank has to make a profit, right? Because they're a company. Like you can open up a bank account for free, right? But you kind of pay for the usage of the bank, right? You're kind of paying the bank through fees and through, you know, their ability to use your money as like collateral for, you know, stock trading and such. So what I want to do is inset. So what's the thing here? No, I don't know Maddie from Finland. How can I do this? Oh, okay, that's exactly what I want. That's the solution here. Is this it? DP, like North Korea? Click the video. The YouTube, this one? Everyone can homo in Finland. Wow, that's awesome. What did Fantano rate the Vince Staples album? 6 out of 10? Dude. That's really funny. Okay. Diabetes is so sad, dude. Okay, it's because I used a large language model for this, and I want to figure out... Yeah, it is all... Everyone can homo in Finland, bro. I didn't grin because I didn't choose to grin when watching the video. One FR times columns, right? So you're making columns. Meh. Let calls equal calcmin authors.len, right? Sure. Max 4, right? So calcmin I know everything's not crazy and awesome. Those are just words I use a lot. So this is just saying, hey, what's the minimum value here? But the maximum can be 4. Sure. Sure, that makes sense. Dude, it's so over for the UK. Like, within my lifetime, there will be no United Kingdom. I know. I do know the meme. Dude. Like, Scotland is definitely going to be leaving the United Kingdom. And they're probably going to be joining the not the Eurozone. I just know a lot about Scotland. I'm not intentionally trying to tease you. I'm sorry. I seem very short. Rafi, this is not my intention. I don't know what happens. My parents mention it sometimes. There's a thing that happens, and I don't know what causes it, that makes me, like, seem like I'm very short, or, like, have a short temper. And that's not really what's happening. I mean, I guess I do sound irritated, but it's not, I'm not super irritated at you, Rafi. You're fine. I'm just, like, I'm just speaking about things in like a certain way that's weird and would maybe imply. Okay. Oh, sorry, I meant to say when they leave the UK. I know you're not saying I am, but I just worry that, like, my behavior reflects negatively on people, right? So I'm just, like, preempting, like, if I seem like I'm mad at you, that's not the case. Because a lot of people think I'm mad at them a lot of the time. But yeah, it's so over for the UK. It's so funny because Thatcher, like, basically turned England into, like, a nation-state container for London, which is basically just a city-state. I'm pretty sure if you remove London from England, England would have, like, the same GDP per capita as, like, Mississippi, which is so crazy. Like, England is a very, very, very poor country. You know, like, London's very rich, but England is very poor. And so it's just crazy because being in the United Kingdom, the only thing that being inside of the UK means is that it's essentially a redistributive wealth policy where if you're not inside of London, all of your wealth gets funneled to London, right? And so everybody got really mad about this in 2016, and they were like, surely the problem here is that we're in the European Union, right? So they did Brexit. Everything's still stuck because everybody's money is getting funneled to London, and then everybody's like, my problem's not solved. I'm gonna elect Nigel Farage, who is the same guy who told me to vote for Brexit 10 years ago. And I was gonna be Prime Minister, bro. Fucking Nigel Farage. Oh my god. Nigel Farage is gonna be the last Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Yeah, dude, like, it's so over for the UK. Like, you can't, like... Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, probably because you redacted the BSN number. Who makes you not allowed to do that? Really? How is the Dutch government... I mean, no, but how is the Dutch government reconciling that with the ID verification stuff? Like, do they suggest citizens manually edit their images to redact their BSN number? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, continue with your story. I didn't know that that was the case. Burger service number? Burger service number. Can I do yen? Burger service number. How do I, I wish I could read this Wikipedia article, but it is in Dutch. What is happening? Okay. Yeah, okay. No, I'm not going to translate it. I guess I'll never know what it is. I think it does, but I don't know if it... Like, Helium is in beta. I don't know if it's a thing that I can do with this appearance. Like, I think I might have to go back to, like, classic appearance. Okay. So let me think about what this does. How do I... I can use the restroom. So currently my phone is on a mode, like a brick mode, that only blocks social media apps. So it only has like 6 things blocked. When I got up to use the restroom and I got my phone, it's because I was checking my finances, which I like doing. Okay. What? Okay. Well, I stand to pee, right? So you're only really using, like, once you've sufficiently aimed, this is a little TMI, once you've sufficiently aimed, you could do whatever you want with your other hand, really. I do have stocks. I have a lot of stocks. I mean, I don't have stocks. I have index funds, right? But yeah, I have stocks. I have index funds in my retirement account, my Roth IRA. Yeah, you would sit to pee. Let's go to the number of elements inside of to the number of elements inside of the author's array. If the number of elements inside of the author's array is over 4, it makes cols 4. This functionally. Oh, what's that supposed to mean, Ravi? What's that supposed to mean? This functionality. This functionally creates. That's really cool. You should send me a video of you playing piano. Okay. Do you have like a grand piano or just like a keyboard at your house? Or like an upright piano? What is that called? Is that what that's called? Yeah. That's cool. When's the last time it was tuned? When's the last time the piano was tuned, Rafi? That's not great. So what does 1FR mean? I mean, you think it holds up because its tuning isn't obviously different from one day to the next or from 1 week to the next. But like long term, it gets out of tune. Trust it sounds natural, sure, man, but like you're used to how your piano sounds, right? Like, does your house have AC and heating? Like, does it have cooling and heating? Or does it just have heat? How many years ago did your how many years ago did your piano get tuned? You gotta tell me. Like, give me a number. I'm just saying you should make sure your piano's tuned, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can get a thing that says what the frequency of... You're Dutch. Rafi, you need to tune your piano. Rafi, you need to get your piano tuned. Okay, when you press A on your piano, what does your perfect pitch say? What does it say? Do you have relative pitch, or do you have like perfect pitch, right? Because I think if you had perfect pitch, you can tell your piano's out of tune. Well, I don't think lying is a very effective argument. So if I do columns, okay, so you have relative pitch. I don't know. I honestly don't know that much about like mechanical pianos. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I gotta stop talking about pianos because you're so confident about this. It makes me think that maybe I might be in the wrong considering how confident you are in this. Okay. So if you just do 4, there's nothing more infuriating than going back and forth on the Typst website. What is happening? Sure, and what is 1FR? Whoa, wait. Use the page function's columns parameter. Okay, I see. So I'm looking at the docs for the columns function when I should be looking at the docs for the columns like option in grid. Okay. What does 1FR comma mean? So the parentheses mean this should be done first, right? This should be complete. So could I do this? Does that do the same thing? So like, hold on. What are some names? I'm not going to include my own name in here. Is it Robin Hansen? It is. Okay. Wait, what is happening? Why? Right, okay, that makes sense. So let calls equal, one of r times 4, comma. Right, so wait, no, times calls. Let calls equal that sucks. Use Audacity to convert it. Or FFmpeg, right? You know what I do in situations like this? I give the WAV file to a large language model agent, like I give it to like a Claude Code or something, and I'm like, hey, make this audio file an MP3 and make sure it's as large as it can get, as long as it's under 10 megabytes. And then it just does it, right? And it cost me like 5 cents. It's sick because I'm able to convert a file with natural language. It's incredible. Well, the large language model uses FFmpeg too, right? But I don't have to do the thing where I bring it lower and lower until it's under 10 megabytes, right? Like I can have that running in the background. I don't know that because the large language model does it. And I know you can calculate the required bitrate, but you're never gonna know the end file size, right? Like you're never gonna know, you know. Until you run the command, right? Is this a silly thing I'm doing? Yeah, that's fair. Cool, okay. But then if I add more, right, so it's going to be like, zoom up to people. This is the worst list of people ever. Right, it's gonna go down, right, because the max length is 4. But if I do like 5, right, authors 5, What's wrong with LPCM? I don't know anything about. I don't know too much about codecs. What's going wrong here? Are we post Opus? I remember a Discord came out and like one of their big selling points was that they used Opus. It's been like 10 years. Like, is there anything better than Opus yet? Oh. Whoops. Can I do 5 now then? Do max 5? And if I do like max 2. Okay, sure. Sure. So the thing I want to do here. That's crazy that they haven't done anything post Opus. That's really crazy, Rafi. I didn't know. Okay, so I could do ... max for... let by equals authors. To do int max. Is that crazy? Yeah, it is. Okay. Found arguments. What is happening? just the same. Yeah, that was you. Am I being silly? I see. There's probably a queue, like a small queue. Okay, for sure. I should be able to do this. I should do int. Dude. Am I being silly? Okay, alright. I guess you just can't do what I was looking to do. And this is silly anyway. Why was I doing this? You know, I could just, yeah, it's weird that I... Right, because we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're doing... So if I do like 4, what's 4 times 7? I should know my times table, so it's 28, so that's... Oh wait, I'm just doing 4 times 2. Whoops. So I'm gonna do this, right? Yeah, so that's just going to be 4 times 7, right? So that's going to be 28. So that's 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 6, 7, 8. Right, okay. That makes sense. Max of 4, right, okay. Columns, I'm going to do 1FR. 1FR, comma. Wait, no, I don't need 1FR, comma. Wait, why was there 1FR, comma? Wait, I do need it. I do need it. Okay, what is this doing?
Okay, I see.
better. Is it crazy to do footnotes and comments? Is that crazy? It's gonna be like, why are you putting footnotes in your comments, bro? Right. Okay, I gotta go now. I've been working on this for